Okay, let's get started. I'm going to jump to our file browser, and I'm here inside of our Drupal directory. Again, we're putting all of our examples inside of this examples folder. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to create a new folder called Symfony, and I'll navigate to this folder. Jump to the resource pack directory, and inside of there you'll see a Symfony folder. And if we expand this, we should see one folder called steps, and I'll open this up. We're going to begin with a simple index.php file that has a simple script. Let's copy this and paste it inside of our Symfony examples folder and rename it index.php. Let's open this inside of our editor and take a look at what it's supposed to do. Okay, so we have a simple two-line script. In the first line, we grab the name parameter from the query string and we set it to the variable input. And then we use printf, which allows us to specify a string with these tokens that get replaced by whatever additional parameters we pass to it. And we say hello string, and then this string token gets replaced by the value of input, which is what we defined up here. So if we go to the browser, and in our address bar we go to our Drupal site, and we go to the examples folder and the Symfony folder inside of that, and then we do index.php. And then we add a name parameter in the query string, and I'll set it to Chris and hit enter. We should see hello Chris. Okay, so this works as expected, but there are some flaws in our code. For example, the output is insecure. So let's say I add some JavaScript here. Now in Chrome this won't work, but if I copy this code and I paste it inside of the address bar in Firefox and I hit enter, you see that it actually runs that JavaScript code. Now in general, we don't want people to arbitrarily be able to run JavaScript code on our site. So this is clearly a flaw. I'm going to jump back to Chrome here. Also, if we take the name out altogether and we submit this form, we'll get an error depending on what our PHP error notices are set to, saying that there's an undefined index name. So okay, we should probably set a default for this name value just in case it doesn't get passed in through the query string. As a third problem, although this is something that we don't necessarily always think about, the character encoding isn't specifically set in our PHP script. That means that the character encoding will be set by the browser instead. Now what this means is that if we're using characters that don't necessarily fall into the character encoding that's currently being used in the browser, then those characters will end up looking really weird. So it makes sense to specify our character encoding. With our hello script, that's not such a big deal, but if we're thinking about the future and thinking that somebody could enter something that includes characters that we didn't anticipate, we want to make sure that we're using a character encoding that will support that. And the most generally compatible character encoding is called UTF-8.